As of the time I'm filming this is July, and as of this time, the UK Commission or British Commission in Nigeria has sent a message to students that are intending to resume this September 2022 that if you don't apply before August, you might not be able to resume. Now, if you are part of those people that have not been able to get all that you need to be able to apply for your visa and resume this September 2022, there are some things that you need to do so that you don't lose your admission process. So if you want to know those things that you need to do, please keep on watching.
Everybody know I'm a visual. Yeah, I kill it cold like a criminal. I'm everybody's type, but nobody can deny. Cause you know I get it, not anybody. I'm getting freaky, yeah, I'ma bring the crazy. Get that freaky on, get that freaky, I'm getting freaky, get it right.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Omomi, aka Petite Diva, and I am a University of Nottingham alumni and also a Developing Solutions Scholarship Award winner. In this educational series, I talk about the UK admission process, I talk about the UK visa application process, I talk about tips and tricks on how to make sure that your stay in the UK is enjoyable, and I also talk about tips and tricks on how to make more money as an international student. So if you like videos such as that, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now before we get into the video, I just want to announce that I now offer UK educational services, and what I mean is that I offer SOP writing, I also offer academic CV writing, I also offer the whole UK admission process services, and the UK admission process services involves SOP writing, academic CV writing to improve your chances of getting admission, and also helping you to fill the application form and the rest, and guiding you on the schools and courses that you should take so that you increase your chances of getting an admission. And because I work and also do YouTube and some other things, I have limited people that I can take, so I will be taking probably 10 or less than 10 depending on the services that my clients pay for. So it might even be 7, 6 depending on what services that have been paid for in a first come first serve. So if you're interested in my services, please check the description box for my email address and send me a mail. It's going to be a back and forth thing because I'm going to send you some forms to fill. I'm going to ask you some questions before I even consider taking you as a client, before you even pay for any services. So if you're interested in my services, please check the description box for my email address. Now, if you are a prospective international student that is resuming this September 2022 and you are looking for accommodation, please check the description box for my Amber Student link. Amber Student is a platform that helps international students get accommodation easily. You don't need a guarantor, so you don't have to pay 6 months rent up front. You don't need to pay until you have a visa. There are different types of places that you can get according to your budget, and it is easy peasy to get. So if you are still looking for accommodation, please check the description box. My Amber Student link is there, and once you sign up for it, you get personalized assistance, so you don't have to bother too much.
Hello, I'm Katrina Lang, the British High Commissioner to Nigeria. My message is directed at those of you who are planning to study in the UK this academic year, September 2022. Of course, the UK is a fabulous place to study. Our academic qualifications are recognised globally as the best. And we welcome students from around the globe, and in particular from Nigeria, because we want the brightest and the best. We have a transparent point-based system, and 96% of Nigerians who apply for students' visas are granted those visas. But my message this morning is please help us to help you by applying much earlier than you would think you need to for your visa this year. In previous years, it might have been okay to apply in August for a visa to start your studies in September. This year, that's going to be much, much too late.
Like I said earlier, the British Commission in Nigeria had told students that if you don't apply before August, it's most likely that you'll not be able to resume in September, because there's so much issue right now. One is the Ukraine-Russia issue that has made the UK government to prioritize Ukraine refugees or citizens. So that kind of slowed down the visa process in Nigeria. There also is no priority services or super priority services available. And also, the visiting visa process is now really long. So it has really slowed down a lot of things. And because the students that sign up for September intakes are always a lot, and August is like their busiest month. So she advised that people who have not yet started the process should start the process. People those that are going to the center where they do the TB test, there is a lot of crowd. So it's just a whole mess. Some people 2 months, 3 months, they've not yet gotten their visa. Then in Nigeria, we also have the issue of Form A. If you've watched my previous videos, you know what Form A is. People that have been trying to pay their tuition fees with Form A are seeing a lot of problem. It is taking like 2 months for people to get debited so that their school will receive their tuition fee deposit or tuition fee. So there has been quite a lot of bottleneck that is restricting people. Now, if you know that it's not possible for you to meet up with the September enrollment or September start date this year, your best bet is to do what I'm going to say now. It's to defer. You need to defer to either January if your school has that option, or May if your school has that option, or September next year. Yes, it can be very discouraging that you have to defer, but it will also give you time to prepare for next year. Now, if you're not be able to get the money to pay for your tuition fee, you have a lot of time now to pay for it so that you would get ahead of the next set. So if you defer to next year, probably January, and you are able to pay your tuition fee deposit by September, it means you are ahead of those that will be looking for how to pay in November. And remember, December, most schools go on holiday. So you have to make sure that if you are doing everything, it has to be before November or December 1st. By December 10 or 15 till January, you don't see anybody. So there's no back and forth with anybody. So for you to defer, most of the time you have to just send a mail to your admission team and say you want to defer. You might tell them about the situation in your home country or your financial situation that you cannot resume yet. You might, in some schools, they might still insist that you have to pay some certain fee before you can defer. In some schools, it's free. In some schools, like I said, it's not free. In some schools, it might just be like you have to pay £100. In some schools, they will tell you to pay £1,000 just to be sure that you will come next year. In some schools, you might not be able to defer without some processing or filling some form. But the fact is that deferring you would pay if you know you cannot meet up with resuming in September. Because there's no point being on the edge. By your September start date, your visa is not yet out. It could come out in October, and some schools have a required time for resumption. Like if your start date is September 19, they might tell you that if you are not in the school by October 10, you would have to defer to the next year. And there is no point in you paying for your visa and everything, and then when the visa comes out, you cannot resume because your visa came out late. And the UK VI people are more likely to tell you that you've been warned already that you should not apply late. Now, deferring might not even be such a bad thing. Like Teesside students, for example, last year, Teesside University did a lot of people shaggy. They did a lot of people bad. Like people that were supposed to resume in January were like deferred to September because they had a lot of students and they were not able to give out cash because there's a required amount of cash they can give, and they had already paid the deposit of £4,000. So it was really a bad thing for them to do, and people were hurt. But some people stuck with them, and those that had already paid the deposit and done all their cash interview and everything were giving cash earlier than most schools this year. I know people were getting their cash around April or March ending or April, while people had to wait till May, June for some schools. They were giving around April. So some people, because they had already prepared for January, and then the whole issue happened, they were already prepared. So by the time they got their cash, they just quickly applied, and then April, a lot of people were not applying for visa, for student visa. They were not applying for student visa. The health center where you get the TB test was not as jam-packed as it is now. So they were able to quickly do all the processes, and by May, most of them had their visa. So they were just chilling and waiting, and some people had a very early entry date, because most of the time you can enter the UK 1 month before your start date. Nowadays, some people are getting like 3 months you can enter the UK. So 2 months before the September start date, most of them can already enter the UK. So while everybody is now struggling, they've already gotten their visa, they are already packing, they are about to leave. So it can be disheartening, but it can also allow you to prepare better and also enter the UK earlier, and then you can make some money. Don't tell them I told you, but then you'll be able to make some money because you entered the UK earlier and it's not yet your start date. So you might be able to do more than 20 hours because it's not during 10 time, it's before 10 time. Okay, so I know it's disheartening, like I said, but use this opportunity to make sure that you process everything earlier, because next year the rush is going to be ×2 of this year, and there's going to be a lot of rules that might come up because they are trying to clip some people from coming. So it's best that you process everything early for next year. So that is all for today's video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps a lot. It helps to encourage me. It also helps YouTube to know that people like this video and they will share it to more people. And if you are not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.